Hey, it's Kate. I hope you're having a great day. And we're going to take a look at the vegetable garden today. It's early in the morning. I'm just taking a moment to enjoy a little bit of sun and a warm drink. Some of the seedlings are kind of getting out of control. So we're going to measure the temperature of the vegetable garden with the compost thermometer. It's probably a little early for warm season crops, but I have some tomatoes that they're better off in the ground than in a container at this point, I think, regardless of the soil temperature. So we're gonna see if we can plant some of those out. Hopefully that'll be good. In this container, I'm really loving the tulips. They're just starting to open, and they're this shape that's kind of a little bit short, and I think they're just so cute. Like, for some reason, they remind me of cupcakes. And the first leaf bud on the pear has opened up, which is good because I cut that so hard that some of the other buds had to take over. The buds that were trying to sprout were out at the very tips, and I cut off a lot of the shoots on that tree. So the old apple tree is flowering now. Looks lovely. The new apple tree has all its leaves coming out, and then the pear, yeah, it's got one little leaf shoot, or maybe two, that are just opening. So that's good news. The bare root trees have survived. All right, let's look at this vegetable garden. That soil is way warmer than I thought. I think we're good to go with planting warm season crops like tomatoes. Okay, so the plan is we're going to put a few tomatoes in each of these three beds. South is that way. So this way we'll put the tomatoes at the back, kind of at the north end, because they're going to be really tall and they won't be shading anything other than some landscape stuff, and the raspberries are pretty tall back there too. So let's start in this bed up here, which needs some weeding. Uh-oh. Now I've done it. No, those are the green zebra. Right? I mean, I sure hope so. All right, we've got two varieties to go in this bed. These ones, unless I've mixed them up, these are green zebra. So they make a green potato. So they make a green tomato that has some stripes on it. It's supposed to be a good one for eating fresh. And then this one, I definitely haven't mixed up. This is the Brandy wine. And I think, where's a good one? I think the Brandy wines are really interesting because they have a different leaf pattern than the other tomatoes, which I don't know if that's just mine or if that's kind of the standard way they are. But it meant keeping track of them was much easier. Okay, so we're going to put these four along here. We're going to bury them extra deep, give them some extra stability. They can grow roots from their stem, but also planting them extra deep will get their roots down lower, giving them access to that moisture that's lower down in the soil, which is good for drought tolerance and keeping them happy, which will also help prevent blossom end rot. So that'll be good. Let's do it. Let's see what these look like. Oh, I feel like that's perfect. So we just planted that bed. This is the next bed over. And we've got 2 San Marzanos here, which is a pretty standard Roma style tomato. This is one that I really want to have because I think it'll be probably the most useful to us. And so I'm going to plant 2 here. I have 2 ready. I think I'm going to see if we have room for a third that is not ready to plant out yet, but we'll leave a spot so that we can add it later. So I did add compost to this earlier, and I also did some chop and drop with kale. So this bed should be ready to plant out. It's looking pretty dry right now because I haven't been watering it since it's empty. And we've had a week of pretty hot weather. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3. Is there room for 3? 1, 2, 3. I mean, this is too close. So the 2 beds that we just planted up with tomatoes are behind me. This is the 3rd bed. And so in a surprise twist, we've got some squash to plant here. It'll grow up over this little house trellis. And I started these a month ago, and they are probably completely running out of soil for their roots. So I've got 3, which I'm sure is much tighter spacing than you should do, but this is a small trellis, so there's not really that much room for them to sprawl out anyways. So we'll put 1 here. We're going to save a little bit of space for things on that trellis. And this is actually 2 in 1 pot, which has worked in the past. And we'll put the other one there. Okay, so these I will not be planting extra deep, because that's not a thing really for squash, although I have heard that it might be. Have to look that up. And again, arborvitae roots from 5 feet away, under the path, into the bed. This bed I have not amended, so we're gonna have to, we'll probably add some more later. Oh, yeah. I'll come show you. My understanding is cucumber and the likes, it's kind of 3 weeks. Start them 3 weeks before you want to plant them out. So we're past that now. And these are 3-inch pots. Yeah, and no surprise, these ones are more full. Okay, there we go. I mean, they were planted a little bit deep. Let's give them a drink. So the soil was definitely warmer than I thought it was going to be, which means I think it was time to plant out the tomatoes. The rule of thumb around here is that your warm season crops are kind of planted out at the end of May, at the holiday there. And it's May 3rd today. So, you know, we've generally had a cool spring this year, but we've had like 1 or 2 weeks of hot weather, and that has really brought things around. I know some people might be worried about taking off all those leaves, but this is how many I took off of those 6 plants. So they all had plenty of leaves still on them. So, it's okay to take off the bottom ones. I probably could have taken off a couple more, particularly ones that are like touching the ground, just to prevent disease from coming up onto the plant. Oh, and I do need to stake them because they're going to be a little floppy for a bit. And then I'm going to need to, so I'll put in some temporary stakes, but I will need to figure out something a bit more permanent because they're going to end up like 6 feet tall. So we need something big and permanent for them for one season. Well, we've got some progress on the vegetable garden then, and the seedlings are back under control. There's still a lot of them, but overall, the big ones are out of there. So I need to get back to my next project for the cottage garden, and I will show that to you next. So for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.